Hey everyone, welcome to the Collector Chatter podcast. This is episode 29. I'm your host Miguel, here with my co-host Charlie. And in today's episode, we're going to cover some WonderCon news. We're also going to talk about the NFT craze, as well as our normal news and some of the new Fun Days events that are currently being announced.
So everyone, please make sure you like, comment, and subscribe.
All right, so now let's get to the next topic is going to be WonderCon. So this is going to be like a pretty big one, but figured we'll just kind of go through it. It wasn't a huge drop, but like what we normally do, we'll just kind of run through what did come out and just our thoughts. Like obviously, hey, did we get any of them? And did we, or what we thought about it in general. It was pretty small. Like WonderCon usually is pretty small. I felt like this one was like probably one of their smaller ones.
Yeah, I thought this was super small. That's the way it was, and it didn't have the variety that I thought it would. But
yeah, well, it didn't have the variety. It didn't have as many retailers. Like it was very limited to only certain ones or whatever. But well, like let's start off with the sodas. The sodas were WonderCon has always kind of been like now recently the soda con, right?
It's fun
because that's what it happened like the last couple of years. But right off the bat, Funko site, obviously themselves, they had the black light banana split sodas. So that was the 4 characters that they have continued to come out with. So we have Fleagle, Snorky, Bingo, and Drooper, 4 from that show. Now, these were all black light, which we have seen the Alice in Wonderland do it, and then more recently the Ninja Turtles. But this kind of reminded me more like the Alice in Wonderland drop. I didn't try to grab any of these. I wasn't really trying to. I only own to this day one banana split, and it's the Fleagle, right? Yeah, the Fleagle, and it's a chase, and it's because I pulled it in a mystery box like that epic collectible mystery box. I wouldn't have gone and bought it. And it's also the international version too, which we know how we feel about those. But yeah, I'll say it like I've always said it. I love black lights. I love like they look cool. They definitely look cool.
Yep, they look cool.
I'm not a big fan of the black light can. I never have been, even from back when the Alice ones dropped. I just thought initially it looked kind of cool. I thought if it was blacklight, but it's not. It's just bright colors with the black.
Yep.
I just think it kind of looks off a little. But I just hate that you get a black light and then there's a chase that's literally black light with a random reverse color or whatever it is. That's what I think is just kind of like useless versus a normal one with a black light chase. Cool. Black light. I don't know.
I agree. I totally agree with you. The only time I think it's worked was with the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Yeah.
To me, that like was a true like chase. But yeah, for these, it's just we just changed the colors, and just like you, not interested in them. I am a fan of the blacklight as you as well, but I'm really, especially with the sodas now, I've gotten so into them, and there's so many. I'm really now just gonna get like the ones I want, like are things I'm interested in. Where before, there could have been some times I was like, oh, I'm going to get this soda because like, why not? Now there's just so many and they're really touching every fandom that I don't need to do that anymore. And this just is one that I just was not interested in at all.
Yeah. It's so funny that you said that because literally like before we started filming, I was like setting up, I was walking around and I'm looking at like my sodas. Like I always look this way because they're just like right now they're just stacked up in a bookshelf for a lot of them, except for the ones that are on display, and they're not on display. They're little still in the can because I don't have enough room to actually display them. And as I was looking through them, I thought the same thing. I was like, damn, I'm running out of room, but I love getting sodas. I always keep getting more, but I'm starting to do the same thing as you. Like I'll really only get like characters I like or ones that I think the chases are cool, but I'm not getting every single soda. In the beginning, I kind of would. And I started looking and I saw one that I popped up and I had Secret Squirrel, right? I know who the character is. I don't know too much about him though. And like, I have the Comet and Chase. I also have the Comet and Chase of Muttley from the Wacky Races, right? But then I started thinking, I'm like, if those came out right now, I probably wouldn't even buy them. Like, because now at the point, I'm like very picky and I'm like trying to get the ones I really like. Those wouldn't be ones that I would get. But then I started thinking, I was like, but they're like OG ones, so it is kind of cool to have them. But
I know.
So
it's hard. You go back and forth. It's just, I can see that. But now it's just these drops. Like I do like now, they clearly, you're going to have those soda collectors who need to get them all. But I now I feel like when they come out with all these new drops, they're keeping in mind all different fandoms. Like I
Yeah,
don't feel like a
they're doing a good
drop's
job of
gonna
that.
go by where I'm not gonna want a
At least
can,
one of them or
at
something.
least
Yeah.
one. But yeah, there's just they really, which they do a good job with. And I know people have commented in the past, they really hit the nostalgic factor of a lot of older shows that are like before our time that like
Yeah.
I don't need to get them. And Banana Splits is kind of
Yeah. For
one of
those.
them.
Yeah, that's one of them. And Funko loves them. And like we said, I'm sure
Yeah.
Brian and them are like love that show for whatever reason. That's probably why. And they really go and actually we talked about them in an episode and kind of trashed them. And someone in our comments was like, "Oh, I love bananas, whatever." And like, if you do,
I
totally,
know.
like
I felt
we
bad.
don't mean anything by that. It's just like I never watched it. I didn't grow up with it, and I don't know a bunch about them to like want to collect this kind of stuff. But that's all. But moving on to another soda that did drop, and I did actually grab was the Yzma. I always forget how to say
Yeah.
that, but Emperor's New Groove, right? That's what that.
Yeah. Emperor's New
And
Groove.
then there was also a pop from the Emperor's New Groove as well, and both of those dropped. I grabbed the soda. I didn't grab the pop. Did you
Same.
get either of them?
I grabbed just the soda, not the pop.
Yeah,
Which they're
just
still
the
sitting
soda.
on the Funko shop, which
Yep.
I'm shocked about, especially
Yeah.
for the soda.
Yeah. What is a piece count on that? 10,000. Okay, so it's a little higher,
And you could
which I
only have
guess.
bought in one until just the other day. I think they
Yes.
upped it to 10, which is what
Yeah.
they did with like the toucan SDCC.
Yeah. Which I mean, they do that with cons, and I completely forgot because I've been so used to like going on, grab two sodas. And I forgot that with the con specific, you can only get one, especially the day of. Like when it drops, they only let you get one. So like it's tough for me because I always, I get two because
Yep.
I like to try to get the one and want to get a common and chase. And I couldn't. So I was like, I know maybe it'll come back on sale. And it did. And it's like you said, I mean, maybe right now, but as of when we're filming this, yesterday, it was still available and it was a max of 10, I think, or whatever that you
Yeah, I
can
think
get.
10.
So it'll probably eventually, I'm assuming it'll sell out soon. I don't know if it'll be staying around for too long. I think the reason why it was still able to come back is because it was limited to one. Yeah.
But Hades sold out immediately.
Yeah. Hades, maybe just a little bit more popular.
It's a more
I think
beloved
that soda is
character.
also awesome. Yeah, I think the character is cool. I think what they did with that common chase. I guess we'll talk about that one next because that was a common chase that looked super cool, color change and everything. The way the flames and the hair is almost like a translucent like look to it. So that one's a really cool one. That was a specific box lunch exclusive, and Funko dropped all of these on their site, and then certain ones have their own shared versions. I grabbed that one. So the only things I grabbed from this con actually were those two sodas. So it was the Hades and the Yzma, and then they dropped a T-shirt. I think I threw in there to try to get free shipping. One of their beach, like the beach
with the logo,
beach bash, logo T-shirt, which is pretty cool. But then otherwise there was a couple other pops. So I think you grabbed this one, right? The Peacemaker pop.
Yes, I grabbed the Peacemaker pop.
Yeah, that one's still up actually.
Yeah, which
that's one of the ones that's up there as well. And I was kind of surprised because I would think Peacemaker was pretty popular, and I thought it was a cool looking one. Him, the shield.
Me too. I think it's an awesome pop. It may not be as popular as I want it to be. I guess I feel the same way. Even with like Emperor's New Groove, like that's a cult like Disney film, which Funko shows the love time and time again. But to me, this is showing that it's and niche.
That pop is still up too, right?
Yeah, the pop is still up too. So
yeah, I know we have a fan out there named Anthony who is a diehard a fan of Emperor's New Groove and had some words to say to me, but I'm going to tell you again, I still haven't really seen that movie and I don't really care to. Probably not going to. These pops clearly didn't sell because it's clearly not that great of a cartoon, like you said, or movie. So stay on your island, boy.
That's amazing.
So after that, we had this one. Actually, was the first thing that sold out, I believe. I think maybe some of the which is funny, the banana splits sodas, they sold pretty fast. It was some of the first, but I think this era pop bag bundle was like the first thing I think that actually sold out, and it was the
It
most
did.
expensive thing
Yeah,
because of that bag.
it's just so funny. It's like not. Well, I'll talk about this, and then even like those sodas, like those sodas, people just feel they need to get them.
Yeah, I think because
Whether
it was like
it's
blacklight
Blacklight, whether they
was
think they're
part of
gonna
it.
have value, like I go on and on. Like it just drives me insane if that's like all some people care about. That could have been like the lowest piece count. I didn't want them, so I didn't get them. And I even
Yeah, they
feel the
were
way with
5,000.
like that's the same with this pop for Master of the Universe. It's like it's the only way you can get this pop is with this bag. And it's like, and the Loungefly bags have a huge following as well, which they
Yep.
are super cool. But I feel like that's why people felt the need to get this, because it was more of like a quote unquote limited piece.
Yeah. Well, it was limited. It's a piece count 3,000
It is a
sticker on
piece
it.
count. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That I didn't
Yeah.
realize. Well, then
Yeah.
there you go.
Which I saw that after, and honestly, kind of made it like a pretty cool thing. Like
Yes.
it, because it reminded me of the Turtles soda in their bag. That's a limited, 10,000 piece specific to the bag, and then it came together. I think the bag looks all, I mean, I think all lounge flies always
Yep.
like look great. Like they do such a great job of them. But like you said, yeah, there's hardcore lounge fly collectors that maybe don't even collect Funko Pops and they just only collect bags. So I guess to them it's kind of cool. Maybe it's their way into Funko. She-Ra's pretty popular, of course. There's some OG pops that are very valuable.
Yep.
I don't know if this thing necessarily will be something that becomes like this grail that's super valuable, but I think it being limited is cool. It's got the sticker that shows us limited, and the bag combo kind of makes sense why it would be one of the first things to sell, even though it was at a higher, what was it, like $100, I think, for
I think so. Yeah.
the combo or something. So pretty high, which I mean, that's the same thing like with this with the Ninja Turtle sodas, Ninja Turtle sodas. So I guess that kind of makes sense. But I don't know, maybe we'll see some, maybe it'll drop, because I always thought the Russo brothers, that was a limited con stickered pop.
Yeah.
And I was like, this thing's gonna be such a sick grail. And it kind of did for a little while, and now it's kind of gone back down. Now it's not really that, even though I feel like it should be because of the popularity of it and who they are, and that it was numbered. I don't know if it's like not as high as I would have thought. So I wonder if this will eventually kind of, but again,
it may because
keeps
of what it
value.
is. Like if it was like a Marvel like combo, I feel like it could ultimately become like a grail, which they've
like the
it's
pop
funny.
and tea bundles that they do.
In the past they used to do at cons, like they would do lounge flies with like pins, and the only way you could get both of them is if you bought the bundle. They've done I think done a few of like this in the past, but I mean it's a smart idea business wise, but
Yeah,
it's just like I know I look at it like if that was like a Star Wars pop that I really liked, I probably would have had to have gotten it, but I probably wouldn't use the bag. I've like, well, we've talked about this before. Like these bags are awesome. They just like they're just too small for me. Like I would love.
yeah. They're not like
I,
even as like being used. I don't even know if too many people use them. I feel like they just get hung most of the time, and like they're like wall pieces, like because of like the way they look.
like, dude. So if we do end up going to your Comic-Con, you'll see like they're everywhere.
A lot of people wear them. Yeah. So I'm sorry if I disrespect any of Launch Fly fans, because like I said, I think they're awesome. I just never
cool.
personally get one for myself. But I know that there's some hardcore fans out there, trust me. And then another pop, this was, I think, probably the most useless one of the entire bunch.
Wally.
And it was the Wally. Yeah, Amazon exclusive was the shared. So they shared it with Amazon. We talked about it, I think, when we saw that it was going to be coming out, and it was just, I don't know. It was just like dumb. I mean, they have so many Wally Pops. Him like crushing the track. Like I when I first saw it, I remember thinking I thought this already existed, because it seemed like it was just such an obvious pop that should have already had. But to be a con pop, I don't see why.
No, yeah, I agree. They made a bunch and they chose one to be a con. I feel like I mean, you all know I'm a huge Disney Pixar fan. And like I didn't even go after this. Like I have a Wally Pop that I like, and if you were like, I know some people like if you only collect like Wally, I'll use, or Stitch or Winnie the Pooh, then like you gotta get it. And I wonder if Funko knows that they're like,
it's a big enough fandom that completionists will still.
I always like things that interest me that will never have like the data. Like I like I'm a data person, and it's like Funko must know that X amount of people buy Wally Pops or wanted them, and that's why they've made so many in this line. because that's
Yeah.
clearly what they do with Stitch. It's
Yeah.
what they did. Obviously, he was the hottest thing at that point when they finally came out with the baby Grogu or
Yeah.
baby Yoda pops. Like,
They do it with Deadpool.
yeah, they do it with Deadpool. But
They know that they got that. Yeah.
you're right. Like cons, we've said this a million times. I know some of our fans have said it too. Like they should be special. I look at a lot of these pops and only a few stand out to me as being special.
Yeah. I totally agree. And did talk about the Hades. That was a
Yep.
box lunch shared exclusive. Hot Topic had one, which was the 2-pack, the Angel and Devil version. And I don't know. What do you think of this?
I gone back and forth. Like
I know you said he was there, like you're a big fan of
I
Donald, right?
am,
Like,
and I didn't get it. Just I went back and forth, and like I am trying to be a little more selective, and I just it's a classic from like the old cartoons. It's I don't know. It's totally it's just random, but like that's a cool thing too. Like I'm very torn on this pop actually
yeah,
because it's a
I think
very
it's unique though. It's definitely
it's
unique.
unique.
Yeah,
It's kind of like inside baseball.
yeah,
Like if you know Donald Duck is, but like don't know much about the history of like the old school Disney cartoons. I feel like you look at this pop and you're like, oh, this is kind of random, but like Donald always does struggle with like, you know, the devil and the angel side. Like
yeah,
it's so that's where it is kind of cool, but there's nothing about it like screamed like I had to get this.
yeah. And that's so. I think it's sold though, right? So I mean,
It
must
sold
have been
out
pretty
pretty
popular.
quickly.
Yeah,
But then again, like to me, this is like a special con pop.
yeah,
Like it's unique. It's not mainstream, even though it is Donald. Like it's not like we got just Donald in his normal like blue outfit. Like we got like a
yeah.
very random like
Yeah,
scene.
and it's a
Okay.
2-pack, which is kind of cool because like you get the
Yep.
2 different versions that obviously So I thought it was cool. I didn't get it or anything, and like you said, it's a 2-pack, takes up room. Like if you're being a little more selective and
Yeah.
pickier, maybe not. But if you're a big Disney fan, or like you said, you get more of the OG Disney, Donald, Mickey, Minnie, like getting those, then obviously this is
It's
a
there.
great
Yeah.
piece to have. And then the last one was the Loki Pop, which was a Target shared exclusive, and of course, this was one of the variants of Loki during the show. Which I know when we talked about that this was going to be coming out, I was actually surprised because I thought he had originally came out in that batch, but he didn't when they first started dropping like Kid Loki and even the
Yep.
alligator one and all those, and they didn't drop this version of them. But this one was a cool one. Did you grab this one?
I grabbed this one. To me, this is
Yeah.
awesome. And I wish that they did this. It's just
What
funny
was his
how
name? What's his actual
boastful Loki.
Oh, both. Okay.
I don't know how long you can stretch out a show, and I know we've talked about this before, a movie like, but I think every con should have had a Loki variant pop. They shouldn't have just dropped old Loki. It was a box exclusive. Well, at least they
Yeah.
made them like store exclusives, like the alligator one. Like I never was be able to get my hands on that one. That was a hot topic, which is awesome. But I feel like those would have been cool con pops.
Yeah.
So I like that it's weird that they waited till this con for this to come out, but
Yeah.
I don't know if it's a production thing, but I love this pop. I thought it was really cool.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely a cool pop. It looks exactly like him, so it's like cool, like mold and everything. So like they did a good job. It is interesting, like you said. It's just weird because I'm like looking at the overall like look like of what dropped, and it's like you have a Disney pop, you have a Pixar pop, you have a couple other Disney ones, then you have one DC, you had one Marvel, and then you had the banana splits, which those Hanna-Barbera, they actually, is that what they
Hanna-Barbera.
are under, right? Yeah, they're
Yeah.
actually under that, right? And then the She-Ra pop, and it was just kind of like, I guess they kind of hit each. They didn't get any Star Wars. You didn't have any Star Wars.
Yeah, which like to me they could have had
which was
one. I know
interesting.
they didn't because of Celebration, I would assume,
Yeah, probably.
but
But
you could
one,
have
I mean, like,
one.
come on. I mean, you had one Marvel pop, you had one DC. At least you get one,
Yeah, I agree. They should have. It's a miss.
Star Wars. So it definitely was like overall not great, but a couple hits. Like Obviously, the Loki one was really cool. The Peacemaker one was cool. And then like the two sodas that we liked, both I think the Disney sodas. I think they've hit pretty big with Disney sodas. Like they've done pretty good job. They're doing like specific characters, and it's a pretty cool. So overall, like an okay con. I won't say it's like amazing, but obviously there's stuff that we liked, and then there's stuff that we just did.
Totally
just kind of like man, and there just wasn't a lot. So it wasn't like we had a ton of trash or a ton of great stuff. It was just kind of like a mix of only a few. So that's kind of like our thoughts on it. Like WonderCon, I think will always just keep being one of these smaller, conventions either way. Usually I like it because we get some sodas out of it, because they have generally been heavy on sodas. But it makes me kind of more excited for like what's going to be coming now, which I believe should be San Diego Comic-Con. I believe is the next one, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So like in the summer. So I don't know. We got to see. Hopefully we get some more news on what that's going to be. But what do you think about overall WonderCon? Kind of just.
It was fine. Yeah. No, I mean, weirdly enough, I did like we said, like I bought a few of the things, but it's fine. Like there's nothing like, oh my God, like all of these for the most part that I purchased. The only one I thought was great for con was the Boastful Loki. Even though I didn't get the Donald, I thought that was a good con pop. But like Hades, the Emperor News Group, like they could have just been like box lunch exclusives or like just came out. Like there's nothing. Yeah,
it could have just been thrown. It seems like I think of all the cons, it's one of those ones that's like they just have a couple other random things. They're like, we're gonna have a convention, let's just put a batch of a little bit of this, a little bit of that, and put them together, versus like really thinking of like, okay, we have an idea or a concept or a variation or whatever it's going to be of a certain pop. This needs to come out on a con. All right, let's time it up. It's going to come out for this con, and then making it special.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's kind of where Funko's missed a lot when it's come to the most recent cons. I mean,
I'm wondering I wonder if being special is a thing of the past, which it could be.
Yeah, could be. It could be that. And then maybe actually having real cons like the San Diego and New York, actually having them like in person, maybe that'll come back. That's what I'm kind of hoping. So I guess we'll see. But let us know your thoughts. What you guys think, and down below, feel free to comment like we said before. And did you get anything from WonderCon yourselves, and maybe what was some of your favorite things? Like you said, maybe you're a huge Ben and Splits fan, maybe you're a huge Launchpad Bags fan. If you guys are, let us know. It's perfectly fine. No disrespect. We personally just told you like what we like or what we were excited for or whatever. But overall, what are your thoughts of WonderCon, and how excited are you guys for the next convention, which, like we said, will be San Diego Comic-Con? Hopefully that news and stuff starts coming out.
And Star Wars Celebration, even though it's not
it's actually that's
obviously just first. Star Wars. That is first.
Yeah, that'll be coming.
So like we talked about in the last episode, more leaks are coming. I think this has the potential of being like the best Star Wars celebration in terms of Funko products. It seems like
I think there's a bigger variety of products that they can use.
It's gonna feel pops. Like a con. Yeah, well, normally like there's a few pops and like that's it. Like there's normally less than what we just got for WonderCon, and I think there may be more than WonderCon.
And not only pops.
Like not only pops. Yeah,
like different versions, and
cover sodas
and stuff.
Like...
So that's going to be exciting for sure. But yeah, we're excited. That's going to be the episode for you guys today. So hope you guys enjoyed. Please make sure, like we said before, comment, like, subscribe to the channel. I really appreciate the support. And if you guys are listening on the podcast, thank you guys as well. Check us out on Instagram as well. Charlie, you are now at
Collector Charlie.
Collector Charlie. So check that one, Collector Charlie. And then me, of course, at pop_migs. So make sure to check us out on our Instagram. And then at Collector Chatter is, of course, our mutual channel page. So thank you guys so much. Until next week, we'll be back with another episode. Take it easy, everyone. Have a good one.
Bye, everyone.